Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you love anime, heartfelt reactions, and deep dives into symbolism and themes, then you're in the right place. Before we jump into today's reaction, don't forget to hit that like button to show some love, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of fun. And if you want even more exclusive content like early access to my reactions, full-length anime watch-alongs, and an amazing community of fellow anime lovers, please do check out my Patreon. You can find a link in the description box below. Your support truly means the world as it helps to keep these reactions coming, and I'd love to have you join our cozy little anime family. Today we're reacting to episode 22 of series 4 of Attack on Titan, and there's been a few people that have said, why do you say series instead of season? Because in the UK we say series. It is just a form of our speech. We say series, we also say season, and we use them interchangeably, but most people in the UK will say series. It's the exact same thing as season, we're just not American, so we don't say season. I know other countries also use it, but it's an Americanized form of English, whereas we would say series. It's the same thing. It's just the way that I talk. It's just what I'm used to saying because I'm from the UK, born and raised here. So of course I'm going to say what is in my terminology, what I've always grown up with, which is series. Just as an FYI, because a few people have been asking curious questions like it's not series, it's season, or they've said, why do you say series and not season? So I thought to give a bit of context, it's because I'm from the UK. I'm not American. I'm so scared. We saw the launch of the rumbling. Eren has spoken to all the subjects of Ymir in their head, which is batshit. We also saw Ymir's backstory. We saw her get butchered, her body consumed. We saw the tree begin to branch out as her daughters had children and their children had children, and the power was passed on and on and on until every subject of Ymir had the ability to be able to transform. It's genuinely crazy. And then the big weird centipede thing that came out implanted itself into Eren's head because Eren convinced Ymir to stand up to rebel against the royal bloodline that has used and abused her all her life. Oh, but it was just, it's so creepy looking. Like, it's so visceral that it makes me like, ugh. Like, it's the way that it goes new into his head and then like lifts, ugh. And then there's the big snaky thing moving, which I believe is Eren because it can't be anyone else. It's just the way it moves is just, there's something about it that's really like, ugh, ugh, it's gross. It's almost like Rod Race and his big like dragging face Titan. It's kind of similar to that. There's just something about it that I find really gross. I don't know why, I just do. We don't know what's happened to Zeke because Zeke was kind of caught in the blast. We don't know what's going on there. We haven't really seen his reaction to it yet. We've only seen glimpses of everyone's reaction, which is Armin clocking on, oh shit, this isn't a deterrent for the Global Alliance. This is Eren going on a full genocidal mission against the rest of the world to protect Paradise. It's not what Armin suspected. And it's kind of hard to blame Eren. I don't agree with ethnic cleansing. I don't agree with what he's going on to do. But I can't see any other way forward. I can't see any other solution, which is really scary that like we're at that point where we can't see any other way for Paradise to live in peace without resorting in the deaths of thousands of people. So like on the one hand, I cannot fault Eren as a member of an oppressed group fighting back against their oppressors, against the people that threaten him, against those that are threatening to ethnically cleanse him and his people, that have been mistreating his people. You really cannot fault the oppressed for fighting back against their oppressors. But sort of where you draw the line is when they start ethnically cleansing their oppressors, because then they're becoming the bad guys. Again, Malay were oppressed, they became oppressors. To then go on and ethnically cleanse would then make Eren and Paradise oppressors as well. You can be oppressed without becoming oppressors. You can fight back without ethnically cleansing others. There has to be other ways. The rumbling was supposed to be done towards the global alliance. It wasn't supposed to be every wall. Aaron's just decided that that's what he wants to do. Whereas everyone was under the impression that it would be one wall, and that would be the deterrent to prevent the global alliance from attacking Paradise, that it would deter them and bring peace. That was the hope. And Eren has kind of gone beyond that. Eren has kind of gone on a bit of a genocidal rampage, which makes it really hard to defend him. But again, I think there has to be reasoning behind what he's doing. I'm not defending him in terms of the genocide or the ethnic cleansing. I think that is wrong. I think that's heinous. I think that's disgusting. Again, as an oppressed person, you have every right to defend yourself. You have every right to fight back against your oppressors. You have every right to do what you can to survive. But there were other ways that it could be done that didn't result in ethnically cleansing other people. Because again, the rumbling was always going to happen, but it was supposed to be on a smaller scale. It wasn't supposed to be this big, wide arching thing. So when I say I can't see any other way out of this, or I couldn't see any other way, I don't mean in terms of genocide or ethnic cleansing. I mean in terms of the rumbling, in terms of that being used as a deterrent. I couldn't see any other way other than that. The ethnic cleansing, I think, is just wrong. I don't think that needs to be done. I don't think that's going to do anything other than making Paradise the oppressors of the rest of the world. It's making them the bad guys. It's doing what they did in the past, ethnically cleansing other people. But the rumbling is something that I can't see not being done because there doesn't seem to be any other way. Like, it's kind of the only real deterrent that they have to protect themselves. The full scale rumbling, however, is where I kind of disagree with Eren, because it doesn't need to be done to that extent. It could have been one wall. It could have been a few colossal titans. It didn't need to be every wall, which is why Armin's so horrified, because Armin's like, this isn't what we agreed. This isn't what we signed up for. This isn't what we planned. So what the fuck is Eren doing? This is going to wipe out half the world. They don't agree with it, which goes to show that whilst they believe the rumbling is the only means of protecting Paradise, they expected it to be smaller because that's what they wanted to do to protect themselves, to protect Paradise, without mass casualties and wiping out half the world. So, yes, just need to clarify that. When I say that I couldn't see any other way, I don't mean the ethnic cleansing aspect of it. I just mean the rumbling aspect of it. The ethnic cleansing aspect of it is Eren taking the rumbling too far, because it was supposed to be a test rumble, but we kind of knew Eren wasn't going to do that anyway. But I still think there has to be a reason why Eren chose to do it full out. But I guess we'll see as the narrative goes on. Again, I don't want to judge until I get more context. And again, when it comes to Eren, everything's been so cagey, everything's been so concealed close to the chest. So we don't really know until we see how things go forward. But I know that Armin's not going to agree with this, and he's going to be horrified. And it wouldn't shock me if Armin starts working against Eren, because he feels that he needs to step in because Eren's gone too far. And I think the others may feel the same way, that they have to band together to take Eren down. But maybe that's kind of what Eren wants, is that they need to stop him to bring peace. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But I did have some theories in relation to Ymir that I wanted to talk about, because the more I think about it, the more interesting that it is. When Ymir dies in episode 21, it's just very curious, because we know with Reiner in series 4, if you don't have the will to live, you can't be rebuilt, your body won't regenerate, and you will die. So I am curious as to whether Ymir died because she didn't have the will to continue on, because she was being used and abused. She found herself in such a position where she was a breeding machine. She was mistreated. She was being used as a weapon. She wasn't treated as a person. She never was treated as a person. So she didn't have the will to continue on, because she just didn't want to live that life anymore. So therefore she sacrificed herself to save Fritz, because of this weird conceptualization of loyalty to him, because she's spent that long around him. It could be a form of trauma bonding, I'm not sure. But either way, she sacrifices herself for him, but she doesn't have the will to continue on, which results in her dying. But I had two other theories that I thought were really interesting that I just kind of want to mention here. But I had two other theories that I kind of just wanted to delve into because I thought they were interesting and I just wanted to mention them because I thought it was something that maybe other people haven't talked about in relation. So we've already talked about Reiner and it being mentioned that if you don't have the will to live, then you won't regenerate and you'll die. So initially, that's what I thought in episode 21 is that she doesn't have the will to live because of everything she's gone through and the abuse that she suffered, and therefore that's why she died. I still kind of think that's what they're getting at, but I had two other theories which I found really interesting, especially my first theory, which I think you might find interesting, which is why I want to share it here. And it is that the spear can actually kill Ymir because she cannot regenerate her body because there's no one there to rebuild it. We see her as the builder in this plane. So she's the one that allows the others to essentially heal, recover, and come back. She's building the Titans, but she's also rebuilding the bodies of those that are wielding the intelligent Titans. She's rebuilding them, she's helping them regenerate. So if there's no one to do that for Ymir, because she's the first, she's the founder, she's the one that exists in this plane to rebuild the others, then it would make sense that a spear would actually kill her. But based on Fritz's word where he says a spear cannot kill you, she's likely had life-threatening injuries before that she's recovered from. So it most likely is to do with the fact that she doesn't have the will to continue on. She doesn't want to continue on, and therefore that's why she dies. But I just thought it would be interesting if potentially it could be because she is the first, she is the builder, she's the founder, that there's no one there to regenerate her body, and that's why a spear can kill her. But my second theory is that she wasn't actually dead and that she was in the process of healing because sometimes it can be slow and it can take time. But Fritz believed her dead and in his fear of losing the power butchered her and had the daughters to consume her, which actually killed her. So she wasn't actually dead. She was just severely wounded and was in the process of coming back. But Fritz was so consumed with greed and fear at losing Ymir and her powers that he butchered her and made the daughters eat her, which is quite gruesome to think about. But I don't know. I just thought they would be interesting, but I do think it's supposed to be connected to the will to live, the desire to live forward, because it seems too coincidental in that we had that with Reiner in the beginning of series 4, and then Fritz being like, a spear can't kill you. But I still thought I would talk to you about those theories anyway, because I thought they were interesting nonetheless. So I just thought I would get it out there. But we're not going to talk. We're going to get into episode 22 because I want to see what the hell is going on because the Colossal Titans got released, but we didn't really see much more after the fact of Eren speaking to all the subjects of Ymir. So I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I cannot wait to see what is happening with this show. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into episode 22. Horrifying. Oh, God. They all did.
俺の名はエレン・イエーガー。始祖の巨人の力を介し、すべてのユミルの民へ話しか
Imagine
けてい
not
る。
even really knowing
パ
that
ラ
you're a
ディ島
subject
にあ
of
る
Ymir
すべての壁の
and
黒い塚が
hearing
解かれ、
this voice in your
その
head.
中に埋められて
You'd
いた
think
すべ
you'd
ての
gone
巨人
mad.
は歩み始めた。しかし世界は
God,
パ
the
ラディ島の
OST.
人々が死滅することを望む。この島のみならず、すべてのユミルの民が殺され尽くすまで止まらないだろう。
But surely he's gonna wipe out the subjects of Ymir on the continent because the Colossals are gonna trample the rest of the
この島の
world.
外にあるすべての地表を踏み鳴らす。そこにある命
So he's also going to be exterminating
この世から
the
駆逐
subjects of
するまで
Ymir that are not in paradise, right? So it's kind of like, Eren, you're also killing them because they're not in paradise. The subjects of Ymir are outside of paradise. What the fuck, man? Like, he's not quite grasp that. He's like, they want to exterminate my people, not just here, but across the world. So it's kind of like, yeah, but if you're commanding the colossal titans to trample every inch of the world, they're not going to coincidentally just avoid the subjects of Ymir. They're going to trample on them too. Because, yes, you've given them a warning essentially by speaking to them inside of their head that they may be able to get away in time, but there's no guarantee that they'd be able to avoid these colossals. They're huge. Like, what?
なんだ突然変な場所に大丈夫かいレオンハート
Oh, Annie's dad. Oh my god, what if this wakes Annie? What if Annie hears this?
から巨人が俺たちを殺しに来るって
And it wakes her from that because she's still in there.
初めて巨人化した直後は記憶も飛びすぐには動けない連れ去られたんだ
誰になんで
ジャンとコニーだろう9つの巨人を放っておくわけが
Oh, Rainer.
力が残ってないの
なぜか鎧が剥がれ壁の破片をまともに受けてしまったエレンに世界は滅ぼされる
It's the one thing from series 2 that he didn't want Eren to do. That power is something he always feared Eren would use. The one who shouldn't have that power is you. Or Rainer.
撤退時の飛行船があるピークやマーレ兵を探してそこまで逃げろ
What are you gonna do, Rainer?
早く知らせるんだマーレにいや世界に
お父さんもお母さんもカリナおばさんもみんな死んじゃうんでしょ
そうだ
エレンを殺して止めないと
もう誰にも止められない
There has to be a way, though.
逃げることしかできない
I don't think Armin's gonna take this line down.
ライナ
Nor is Gabby.
諦めてたまるか
Go, Gabby. I admire her so much.
ファルコ
She refuses to lie down in defeat.
俺たちの生存を脅かしてきた敵も全てぺしゃんこだ。まっさらなさら地だけを残してな。海の外の連中が一番恐れていたことが起きちまった。
Aaron's just proved the narrative right that they're monsters.
皆殺しにしようとしたばかりに。俺たちにはどうすることもできなかった。そうだろう。
Fucking hell, man.
これは度が過ぎている前代未聞の大虐殺
Armin's right. It's too far.
止めるかエレンを。つまりエレンは俺たちを守るために壁画
But is that worth the cost of everyone else dying?
この大虐殺の恩恵を受けるのは俺たち
But is your right to life more important than everyone else's? No.
誰よりも
One genocide does not justify the genocide of another race of people. He's been telling them all along that he was going to do this, essentially.
あれは巨人が兵士と戦っているマレヘを
Oh my god.
そんなエレンは始祖を掌握したなら巨人も全て制御できるはずじゃ
おそらくこいつはアギトの巨人を
Oh, they're going to have to put down, like, Pixies and Nile.
巨人化させられた誰かに食わせれば一人救える
母ちゃんだ。ラガコ村の母ちゃんに食わせる。
Is Connie's mom still alive?
その子は戦士候補生でライナーら戦士隊の弟分だ彼らと親しいその子を僕たちが殺すとなればライナーや車力の巨人と新たな
Armin's
争い
right.
を生
You
むことにな
can't
る
do that to Falco.
もうマーレが滅ぶのならこれ以上ライナーたちと殺し合いを繰り返すことはないんだだから
俺の母ちゃんはどうでもいいってことか。
No one's saying that,
そう
Connie.
いうわけ
俺がどう思ってあの母ちゃんがいる村に帰り続けたか、お前にはわかんねえってのかよ。
Oh,
お前だってベ
Connie.
ルトルト食ったから蘇ったんだろうが。 母ちゃん生き返らせるの止めんなよ。
Oh my god.
おい
Oh, Connie.
あんただ。
まずいぞ。巨人をなんとかしねえと。この島に壁はもうねえんだぞ。
I kind of get where Connie's coming from, though. That's his mom.
どうしてジークは巨人を制してない
Where is Zeke? Yeah. The horror, the Titans back again. They're the ones that beat up Keith.
ダメだ。
They're the ones that mocked him.
走れ。手前のうちに行くんだ。
Oh no, 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 no. And it's Niall as well.
カヤ前見ろ。
Kaya! Oh, Kaya! And it has to be Niall. Gabby! Oh. My girl. Despite everything, she rescued Kaya.
お姉ちゃん
I could cry. Ooh. Again, I understand that people dislike Gabby because she killed Sasha, but she has consistently grown as a person throughout this entire series. I think Gabby is going to be my litmus test as to whether I actually like people. If you can't see and appreciate the progression of Gabby and understand the complexity of what it is to be a child with trauma, raised to be a soldier, raised to be a weapon, unlearning that and going on to defend the people you were raised to hate, then I don't get you. I don't understand you. She is phenomenal. I think Gabby is actually in my top 5 of favorite characters, and she's only been in one series. So I think, hands down, she has been a phenomenal portrayal of what it means to be a child socialized by war, socialized by violence, raised to hate people because she believed that hating them would somehow make her more likable, would benefit her and her people in Malay, even though they're the same race of people. Either way, she has managed to unlearn that. She has consistently, time and time again, shown that that behavior can be unlearned if given time, if given the space to do so. She's deconstructed that narrative. And yes, what she has done is something that she will have to live with. No one is forgiving her for what she did to Sasha. No one is saying that that is okay or that is justified. But you also have to remember that it is a war situation. People do die in war, which is why Sasha's parents forgive Gabby. She is a child thrust into a situation that she is far too young to be involved in, but she is involved. She saw Sasha as the enemy and she killed Sasha as someone that has killed people that were near and dear to her. Sasha was a soldier. Gabby was a soldier. Soldiers die in war. Gabby, yes, we can dislike what she's done, but we also can't continue to punish and hate her for it. Much in the same way that other people have died because of war. War is cruel. War is not always justified. There are deaths in war that we don't agree with, but we can't continue to say that Gabby deserves hatred or deserves to be condemned or deserves to be seen as this vile monster that has no way of being redeemed, because she's not. She's the complete opposite of that. She has shown again and again that she has the capacity to learn and change, and she has. If she hadn't learned and changed, I could understand disliking her, but she has. She's phenomenal. I love her so, so much. And again, she was a soldier. They were a soldier. We don't have to like what she did. But again, we can't keep condemning her for the past. We can't keep condemning her for what she felt was necessary in a combat situation. Much in the same way, if Sasha had killed Falco or had killed Gabby, we can sit and go, okay, we don't agree with that, but they're also soldiers, but they are also children. So it kind of blurs the boundaries a little bit, like they're kids. But at the same time, it's a combat situation. You kind of can't blame Gabby for what she did with Sasha, much in the same way you couldn't blame Sasha if she had killed Gabby, but she didn't because Gabby is a child, so she held back because the lines are there for a reason. She didn't want to cross that because she is a child, but at the same time, she is a soldier, so she would be seen as a legitimate target. Not that I agree with that. I don't think children, even child soldiers, should be considered legitimate targets because they are children. But arguably, in a combat situation, Gabby was technically justified in killing Sasha, and Sasha would have technically been justified in killing Gabby. I don't agree with Gabby killing Sasha because I loved Sasha. Sasha was one of my favorite characters. But I don't think we can continue to hate Gabby. I don't think we can. I can understand initially hating her, but I think as the series progresses and you still hold that hatred, I'm a bit concerned if you're actually watching the show because you're just not taking on board the progression and change in her character, which is a little bit concerning. If you hated her initially and then change your perspective, that's fine. If you continue to hate her right the way through, I'm not sure why, because she is phenomenal, a phenomenal character, phenomenally portrayed. That's my rant over. A large caliber single shot rifle developed for use against Titans, debuting in the surprise attack of Paradise Island, is powerful enough to bring down a Titan with a hit to its nape, but the rifle's utility is questionable. Its I can't speak. Its size, weight, and significant recoil make it a liability to the shooter. Well, yeah, we did see that Gabby was kind of struggling to maneuver. It's not what she hit Eren with. It must have been what she hit Eren with because it decapitated him. So, yeah, it must have been the anti-Titan rifle that she hit Eren with. It's what she's used to protect Kaya, but it must have been also what she used to kill Eren. Well, not kill him, but decapitate him. Is Eren technically alive? Because, I mean, he was decapitated. She's redeemed herself.
ここで何を
捕まったファルコを助けに来た。
ベンの
Or Niall, though.
あんたたち無事なのか。てか、周りから侵入したがちか。答えろ。そんな子は。違います。私たちは厩舎で一緒に暮らす家族です。
Kaya.
巨人を殺したのは俺です。元マルヘイ捕虜なんで。
They're protecting her. They've all forgiven her.
Ben を連れて逃げなさい。それまで私たちと一緒におとなしくしてるんよ。
They're protecting her. They're keeping her safe. They'll find a way for her to slip. To find Falco, like get her away from them.
世界に向かって。ああ、そのようだ。
なんで私をかばったの？そっちこそなんで私を助けたの？
She regrets killing Sasha. She needs to redeem herself somehow.
そう。私はあなたを殺そうとした。私、悪魔なんでしょ？違う。悪魔は私。
Oh, Gabby.
私は人を何人も殺した。褒めてもらうために。それが私の悪魔。
No, it's the brainwashing in you.
そいつは俺の中にもいる。
There's a devil in everyone. In all of humanity.
みんなの中に悪魔がいるから、世界はこうなっちまったんだ。
Humanity will always fight one another.
じゃあどうすればいいの？
Even if there's only 2 people left in the world.
出られなくても出ようとし続けるんだ。
Oh, Browse's words. And they mocked the ability of killing Titans because they said it was no longer important or necessary. And here they are.
教えた覚えはないぞ。立体機動装置をつけろ。まだ旧式が残っている。私についてこい。生き残りたい者がいるならな。
He's not a bystander. Jeez, okay.
生き残りの兵はいるか
God, the
全員
OST.
砦と最上階に移動しろそこに巨人を集めて叩くここの巨人をよそに生かすんだ
It's like series 1 all over again.
こ
The
こで全
camaraderie
て滅ぼ
banding
ってやる
together. It's the same building as series 1 when they took their first stand against the Titans during Trust. Full circle moment.
同時にやるぞ
Amazing. It's still sad that they have to kill all their old comrades,
お
but
前たちは戦わなくていい砦まで引きつけろ
oh, Pixies. Put him out of his misery.
司令ここまで僕たちを導いてくれたのはあなたですゆっくりと
Rest in peace, Pixies. And Niall. Rescuing her again. God, the animation. Stunning. Holy shit.
火もだいぶ収まってきた。マーレ兵はほぼ全滅して、無垢の巨人はもういない。ひとまずここは安全だ。
Where's Zeke?
そう
Also, where's Levi and Hanji?
エレンは今何をしている
見ての通りだ。
俺の故郷もダメ
Yeah.
なのか
生きてたか。
ああ、心配してくれてありがとう。だがくたばるわけにはいかねえだろう。エルディア帝国が復活するって瞬間なのに。
He still has that smug smirk on his face.
イエレナ、義勇兵を集めろ。全員拘束する。
君たちも無事でよかった。しかしこの状況で呼び出してすまない。
君はなぜここに
信じてもう争う気はないの
She wants to
私は
help.
ただファルコを返してほしいだけそんな巨人の母親に食べさせ
It's the only family Connie has left.
なんで
I can't hate Connie for it, you know?
唯一動けない体だったためにそのまま。
ごめん
I don't know if Connie would be able to do it though.
それでもファルコを諦められないねえエレイ・イェーガーならコニーのお母さんを人に戻せるんじゃないの
わからないけど、それができたなら、
He's
エ
too
レン
far
はこ
gone.
こでジークに巨人にされた兵士たちを人
Yeah.
に戻してたと思う。
And he didn't.
ないなら頼んでみてよエレンにどうしても島の外の人全員殺さなくちゃダメなのそんなことしなくたっていいじゃないライナーの鎧だって剥がしたんだからできるはずなのに
呪いの巨人の硬質化が解かれたのはいつどのタイミングで
It means Annie.
壁の崩壊と同時に
Annie's hardening has
アルミ
come undone.
エレンは言ったすべての硬質化が解かれるって
Annie's free. Oh my god, okay. I kind of knew that was going to happen solely because they mentioned Annie's dad right at the beginning. So if that wasn't the biggest foreshadowing, I don't know what was. Annie's dad being the one that kind of comes out of it and is like, and somebody went, Mr. Leonhardt, and it was like, oh, the fact that you're focusing on Annie's dad means Annie's coming out of the cocoon. How is Annie gonna come to terms with all this? She's been in that cocoon since series 1, so she's missed all the events of series 2, series 3, most of series 4. Now she's waking up in the midst of the rumbling. She's waking up in the midst of her family being destroyed, her hometown being destroyed. Yes, she is the subject of Ymir, but everything she knows and holds dear and has come to love is about to be erased. How is she going to reconcile her emotions in relation to that? It does seem like they're getting geared up to maybe take on Eren. It seems as if Jean is quite conflicted. Jean doesn't really see any other way because this establishes peace for him and his people and the people that he cares about. He can understand where Eren's coming from. Whereas I'm like Armin. I don't agree that this is the right step. I believe that it's too far. And as GABI is saying, there's other means of doing this. Can't you just take out the military bases? Why are you destroying the world as we know it? Why are you so hell-bent on doing this? There has to be other means of controlling it. And I believe GABI is right. Eren has just decided to go on his own little rampage and has decided that it's best to just wipe out anyone that opposes him rather than logically going about it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if this has just always been Eren's design or if there's a bigger motive behind it, if there's a bigger plan behind it. I'm not sure. We will see as the story progresses. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, can't really defend Eren. But again, still an anti-hero, not the antagonist, just an anti-hero who we're made to believe is the antagonist. But we understand that what he's doing is for the greater good. But we will see how that plays out, whether he does actually become an antagonist. I still think he's an anti-hero though. I don't think he's an antagonist. I think he's the anti-hero of this series, that he's doing what he believes is right and justified to bring peace to the world. But I think others are going to intervene to prevent the level of catastrophe that Eren intends. I believe that he is going to establish peace by doing what he's doing with the rumbling, but the others around him are going to interrupt and prevent the extent of devastation that Eren wants. They're going to prevent this genocide by standing up to Eren, or at least trying to help people escape. But I'm not sure how long it takes the Colossals to get over. I imagine it doesn't take them very long. They're huge and they've got big foot strides. So I imagine it's a matter of time. But holy moly, what a phenomenal episode in showing the full circle moment of not only how far the gang has come since series 1, the fact that they're taking that stand against the Titans in the exact same way they took their first stand against Titans in series 1 during the Battle of Tross in the fort of all places. It's where they first came together as comrades and strategized and worked together, and seeing them now at that point where they don't even really need to communicate. They're all in sync with one another. They're not scared recruits anymore. Just shows how far they have come, how far they have progressed, which is absolutely amazing. But it's so sad that we lose Pixies and Nile in the process, because there's nothing that can be done. You have to get rid of them because they are a threat to everyone. They're not just killing the Malian soldiers, they're killing the subjects of Ymir, they're killing anyone that they can get their hands on. They can't control that urge, the urge to eat, the urge to consume. It's not necessarily eating, because we learned in series 1 that they don't eat because they're hungry. They don't need it for sustenance. They eat because they're driven to do so. It's, I guess, the way that it works now that we know that they have to consume someone to be able to turn back. That's most likely what drives that eating urge. Now that I think about it, that's what drives the eating. It's because every person they eat could potentially be an intelligent Titan. They don't know. So they just consume every person they come across in the desperate hope that they're able to transform back, because it's the only way to transform back. So it's what drives that urge and that necessity to consume. It's not to provide sustenance. It's this desperate attempt to become human again, because they still remember that human aspect. But there's no other way to become human than to consume, which is just so tragic, because they're locked in this internal torture of consuming just for the mere hope of one day being able to return to normality. It's just, I couldn't imagine being in that situation. It's torture. So the only way that I can find some happiness in Pixies and Nile being killed is that they no longer have to live that way. They don't need to spend eternity searching for someone to turn back. They are freed from that torture. They don't have to suffer. So it's kind of putting them out of their misery. It's just incredibly sad nonetheless because we lose them and we've had them since series one. We've admired them. They've been not protagonists, but they have been key characters throughout, and especially Pixies, who Armin looked up to, and the only reason they got as far as they did is because of Pixies' level-headedness and his rationality, and he's also one of those that says that humans will always find a reason to fight one another. So whether Eren commits this genocide or not, humans will always find a reason to fight one another. This isn't going to bring peace because humans are innately greedy. As Nico says, everyone has the devil within them. Everyone has the potential for violence and doing cruelty to one another because, unfortunately, that is just people. We hurt people without necessarily intending to hurt people, or we hurt people because we feel that it's the only way to protect ourselves or protect the people we love and care about. It's horrible and it's tragic, but it's an innate part of being a person. And it's the fact that GABI can come to that understanding that she isn't a devil because everyone is. Everyone is that way. Everyone shares that similarity, whether Marleyan's subject of Emir or another member of the race in the world. Everyone shares that connection, that propensity for cruelty. If pushed, everyone has the potential to harm or hurt someone, whether they intend to or not. As to what's happening with Connie and Falco, I don't know. Connie, I get it. It's his mum. He's lost everyone else. He lost his dad because Sasha killed his dad. He lost his siblings. The only person left that he has is his mum. And I mean, I can't condemn him because if I was in that situation where there was someone that I loved that was trapped and I knew that by feeding them, Falco would save them and bring them back, I can't say that I wouldn't feel pushed to also do the same thing, especially if it was my mum, because it's my mum, you know? So I can't hate Connie because he's acting on emotions. He's acting on wanting to save and rescue the only living family member that he has, who he's been visiting for 4 years. He's had to see her trapped in that form for 4 years. Of course, he's pushed that point, and of course, he's angry at Armin because, again, as he said to Armin, the only reason you came back is because you consumed Bertold. So don't take this opportunity away from me. But I can also understand why it's not fair on Falco, and also why it would just be potentially creating more bloodshed because you're giving the Marleyans and the warriors more of a justification to continue fighting you because you've just killed someone that they value and hold dear and see as their little brother. I don't think Connie is going to go through with it, whether because he's going to be stopped or whether Connie is going to have a change of heart because he realizes he can't actually do this to Falco because it's not worth sacrificing someone else to rescue someone he loves. That there's been enough death and bloodshed that he feels that potentially he can't quite go through with it. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think they're just going to allow it to happen. I think Armin's going to intervene. I think Mikasa is going to intervene, and I think GABI is going to be there too. But phenomenal episode, phenomenal. Seeing the way that GABI comes full circle, seeing the way that she saves Kaya, seeing the way that Nico says, you have to escape the forest. That's the only way. He's taking on Browse's words. If I could be anyone in this world, I'd be Mr. Browse. I admire and love him so much. And I think he's one of the best characters in the show just because he's in it, not a lot, but drops the most impactful, deep, philosophical message in this show in one single episode. And it's a message that we continue to feel as the series progresses. Phenomenal character. Adore him so much. Adore that message of the children need to be kept out of the forest and that they need to escape that forest. And Kaya was so close to being subsumed into it. She wanted to kill GABI. She couldn't let go of that desire to avenge Sasha. But when GABI stood up and defended her, she saw Sasha. She saw what made her respect and love Sasha is that ability to help someone who's in need and put aside the pettiness, put aside the grudges to help someone who truly needs it. Sasha saved Kaya. She could have run away. She could have ignored Kaya, but she didn't. She saved her. Much in the same way that GABI could have run away, could have ignored Kaya because she's out to rescue Falco, but she couldn't. She stood up in Kaya's time of need in the exact same way that Sasha stood up for Kaya in series 2. Sasha and GABI have some similar characteristics, and Kaya in that moment saw Sasha again because it's that same selfless act that rescues Kaya in her time of need in series 2 and again in series 4, and that paves the way for forgiveness, paves the way for recognition that yes, what GABI did was wrong, but GABI has tried to make amendments for what she's done, try to atone, and is trying to be a better person. And it's the way they all band together to like defend her and keep her protected because they're questioning if she's a Malian, and then they're about to hold their guns up because obviously they're going to take her out if they believe so, and they all come in to protect her and they all want to make sure that she survives and she lives. And the fact that Mr. Browse even says to her, come with us, I know that you're going to go rescue Falco. Well, he says Ben, but I know you're going to go rescue Ben, but for now, come with us. He's giving her the opportunity to hide with them, but will also help her get away when the time is right, which he does by leading Makaza and Armin to her to help her because they're the ones that would know where he is, but also will then be with her when she goes to find him. I love this episode. I think this is one of my favorite episodes of series 4 by far. But where's Levi? Where's Hanji? Falco, I think, knew that Eren was manipulating Yelena solely because he arrests her and he's arresting the others too, which makes me think he was already in on what Eren was doing, but was playing along for Eren's sake because Eren told him that he needed to play along to make it believable. Because even Jean's like, what? Like, Jean's confused. So I think Flock's always been in on it in terms of like Eren is going along with them for the meanwhile because he wants them on side, but it's not necessarily because he actually agrees with Zeke and Yelena. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how the rumbling plays out. It's going to be interesting to see what Connie does with Falco, because I believe that's probably going to be the next episode because they've kind of set it up to be the next episode, but it's Attack on Titan. Sometimes they set something up and it's not the next episode, it's the episode after. Annie is awake as well. So how the hell is that going to play out? I'm so excited. The story writing from episode to episode has been phenomenal, has been so strong. The OST is next level. I am in awe. This is an amazing series. I think this is my favorite series by far, which I feel like is cheating a little bit because obviously they've had time to build to all of these, but it's such a good episode. It's such a good series, and the story writing's just been phenomenally consistent from one episode to the next to the next to the next, and the twists and the turns and the shock that comes with it is insane. Also, they know that Reiner is here and that Reiner's recovering, so are they going to get Reiner on side? Is Reiner going to work with his cherished comrades again, the people that he portrayed in series 2? How's that going to work? Annie's going to have to work with them, and she hasn't worked with them since series 1. We're going to see them united against Eren. We're going to see them work together. I'm calling it now. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next time, bye!